I'm Sister Eleanor Monahan. Prior to calling myself that in the community, I was Sister St. Anne of the Rosary. I started my life in ministry in the congregation in 1962. At that time, I was just leaving the novitiate and went to the junior aid in Ottawa. There I I didn't have my grade 13 when I entered, so I had to do that at Notre-Dame convent, which was just around the corner from the junior aid house. And after that I went to Teachers College there in Ottawa. And my first teaching assignment was in the city of Toronto at St. Bridget's Elementary School. And then I was moved to Canadian Martyrs School in Toronto. After that, I went to another elementary school, St. Anne's, and then I finished teaching in 1983. Yeah. And from there, I was missioned to the provincial house in Ottawa, and I worked there as kind of an assistant, doing some chores and whatnot for the Serenity Renewal Program that had just started in Ottawa. The renewal program was for addicted persons and their families. And my work there was quite simple, and it was more of a hospitality type of work. While I was there, the provincial came to me and she said, "I would like to see you go and study and study some theology," because she said, "We're not going to keep you here doing this." I was only 40 at the time. So anyway, that happened. I went to St. Paul University, and there I received the master's degree in pastoral ministry in hospitals. So while we were doing the studies at the university, we were going to the hospitals 4 mornings a week to do our practical work. That was very interesting. I really enjoyed going to visit the patients and that. So I worked at that ministry for 11 years. I started my regular paid ministry at the Ottawa General Hospital, and then I transferred to the Elizabeth Briere Center, and there I worked in palliative care. And by that time I was the ripe old age of 60. And then I went out west. I went out to the house in Cranbrook, BC, where our sisters were in charge of the retreat center, spirituality center. So I worked out there for 5 years, doing some spiritual direction and doing retreats. And I didn't do all that much of that kind of work in the actual center. I was invited to come out and give a couple of one-day retreats for their pastoral care team and other parishioners. And so I went there to Castlegar and gave the retreat. And then I started talking to the people about spiritual direction and how that can be helpful for them in certain times of their lives or continuously, whatever. So I explained what that was all about, and before I left, I had 12 people come and ask me if I would come back. So I started out with 12 directees, and some of whom continued on, right until I left there. So anyway, I came back east, and I worked at Villa Marguerite. I was responsible for any visitors who came, making sure that the rooms were ready for them. And I was also in charge of liturgy. Actually got the sisters formed into a little choir rather than just, coming in blank cold on a Sunday morning. We would come together on Thursday afternoon and prepare the music. And that was joy to me, because it just took me right back to my elementary school teaching, because I taught school choirs wherever I was, And I just loved doing that. That was the most fulfilling part of my ministry in teaching, was the music that I did with the children. I ended up going to a retirement home in Amherstview, just west of here. It was called Briargate. So anyway, that was a good experience. I got really involved out there and was helping out with little bazaars and things. And at that time, this idea of the peace pole I had read about, and I was thinking about the residents in Briargate, and I thought to myself, we've got many different languages in this house and different cultures and so on. Anyway, I talked to the director and suggested that we have a peace pole out there, and I explained to her all about what it was about and so on. So we ended up getting the peace pole, and we had English, French, Dutch, and German on the peace pole. And that is still standing outside the building. That's my ministry life. It's had its ups and downs, as everybody does. There were things that just made me feel like this is my space, this is where I belong, this is where I can be the most helpful to people. Those were the times when I just felt like I flowered, in places where I could be of help to people. God has been good to me. God has been very good to me. The community has been exceptionally good to me.